It's another exciting episode of the Awanachi Conversations, the conversations that count. I'm excited that you could join us on this particular one today, where we are celebrating the Women's Month under the theme Invest in Women and Accelerate Progress. I'm your host, Mpunga Chipepo Simukwai. I am excited because today we are privileged to have in the studio the Director Corporate Communications from Vedanta Resources, and that is none other than Mr. Masuzyo Ndhlovu. We thought we needed to have the voice of the men in this conversation, particularly as we celebrate Women's Month, and he's going to be telling us what Vedanta is doing in the space of women empowerment. Mr. Ndhlovu, welcome.
Thank you so much, Mpunga, and thank you for inviting me.
It's a joy to have you here, and reason being that in previously we have worked together.
Oh yes,
and I had you as my boss for quite a while. So this is really
I guess
nice.
I was a good boss, eh?
Yes, you were. Yes, you were. I hope I won't use this to just make up for whatever trouble you may have caused. But I promise to just have a good conversation with you.
Great.
So thank you so much for coming through, Masuzyo. It's a joy to have you, and just for us to have a conversation around what Vedanta is doing in the space of women, because we are celebrating Women's Month. And for us, Awanachi, as a women's platform, we like to highlight issues that are affecting women. So just to set the ball rolling, what does Women's Month mean for Vedanta, and how do you intend to celebrate the 2024 Women's Day?
Okay, great. Well, this is a very special month, special month for women, special month for the country, and of course globally. It's a month where we celebrate the women, the mothers that play a very important and special role in our lives, in society. And of course, we celebrate the contribution of women in society. Contemporary society, because I think life is dynamic. A lot of things have happened from way back to today, where cutting edge technology is now being used, and women have been in the forefront in playing all those very, very important roles, especially in the mining industry. That I think has been going on for some time, which is a great thing. And as Vedanta, we of course place women at a very, very high level, and we have tried so much in our structures globally to include our women in decision making, in as far as governance is concerned, in running strategic areas of the business. And this is something that we have been doing, of course, as Vedanta. So really we value the role of women and what the role that women play in society. Here in Zambia, I think there's a lot that women are doing in the mining industry. As you may be aware, Vedanta are the legal owners of Konkola copper mines, and so we do have quite a number of women who are in strategic positions, who play very different roles and making a meaningful contribution. So of course this year, not only speaking for Zambia, but also in our other global operations, we do of course work with the host governments, and so whatever events are lined up for women in respective countries, Vedanta participates in those national programs. I know that here in Zambia, there are always some programs lined up for women in the month of March, and we do support our women in taking part in these particular activities.
Okay, nice. Now, to some people, Masuzyo, Vedanta may be unknown, maybe others do know. You have people saying Vedanta, Vendata, so many things, you know. But could you just tell us, what is Vedanta? What do you do? Where are your operations? Just for someone to appreciate who you are.
Yeah, firstly, I should say, Mpunga, that obviously the name Vedanta is it's a tongue twister. Yeah, sometimes you struggle with it. Others would say Vendetta, others would say Vedanta, and all that. So Vedanta is a mining company. It's a global mining company in natural resources, and these include metals. And when we talk about metals, we're talking of metals such as zinc, lead, copper, silver, aluminium, etc., etc., oil and gas. So we are a diversified natural resources company, rated number 6 in the world, and we have employees across business units, across different operations, across different geographies, of over 100,000 employees. And so the company Vedanta started in 1976, and it's owned by Mr. Anel Agawa, and its headquarters is in the UK. And so in 1976, Mr. Agawa, of course, started as a metal trader. And then that went on. From there, he was able to buy an aluminium company. He, of course, worked with his father. And so from there, he expanded his business to include all these different portfolios. So the headquarters of Vedanta is in the United Kingdom, that is in the UK, with different portfolios, especially in India. That's where we have a huge presence there. We do have different companies that are subsidiaries of Vedanta. For instance, the Hindustan Zinc, which is based in India. We have other companies, the aluminium company there. And in most of these companies, we are rated number 1 in the world. And then here in Africa, Zambia was the first, because Vedanta, Konkola Copper Mines is the subsidiary company of Vedanta Resources. And so Vedanta came into the Zambian market in the year 2004. And then, of course, we are also in South Africa, where we are known as Vedanta Zinc International. So we have a zinc mine in the Northern Cape. We have another mine in Namibia, the Scorpion Mine. And then we have some mining interests in Liberia, where we are looking at or dealing in iron ore. And then we have operations in Australia, we have operations in the United Emirates, Saudi Arabia, we have presence there. So we have presence in close to 4 continents of the world. So we are that big. Okay. And just as I said earlier, here in Zambia, it's under Konkola Copper Mines, and under KCM, we have 4 areas of operation. That is in Chililabombwe, in Chingola, Kitwe, and Nampundwe. So we are an integrated mine. Like, for instance, here in Nampundwe, we do mine what is known as pyrite. So pyrite is a special mineral which looks like gold, fake gold, if one may call it. And it's an important mineral in the combustion, in the refinery. So it fires up, the refinery and things like that. So we work as an integrated kind of company. And in a nutshell, that is what I can say about Vedanta.
Okay, very insightful, I must add. Now, Masuzyo, women, we hear very few women in the mining industry. And obviously you have highlighted the fact that that's the space that you're in as Vedanta. Why would you say is the reason for the low participation of women in the mining industry?
Well, a number of reasons could be given to that. I think way back, mining was viewed as more of a male-dominated field or industry. And so the mining of those days involved a lot of physical work. And so it was more of men doing that kind of work. But things have changed over time. I think now we're using more of cutting-edge technology. There's a lot of that. And so we have seen a lot of women participation in this particular field. And also in certain jurisdictions, like here in Zambia, I think government has done extremely well, where they have introduced STEM programs. Of course, STEM standing for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Yeah, so there's been a lot of interest, especially from the ladies. I think the girls have been doing, the learners that is, have been doing extremely well in that field. And so that picture is slowly changing, where you now have a lot of ladies or girls getting into the field of mining. So that, I think, is a good thing. And of course, women in this case play a very big and important role.
Yeah. So now, as an organization or that is working around mining, obviously you should have a component of corporate social responsibility. What sort of community work are you involved in as Vedanta, even as you strive to give back to the community?
Well, we have quite a number of corporate social responsibility programs throughout the world. We have impacted over 3.5 million lives or communities throughout the world. So each particular jurisdiction has different activities. Like, for instance, here in Zambia, our focus areas have mainly been 4, but very soon that picture will change, because we are going to look at an expanded scope of activities. But then the thematic areas have mainly been education, health, sustainable livelihood, and sports development. Those have been the 4 areas. But now we are moving on, because what we want to do this time round is to create what is known as a community trust. So through the community trust, we're going to have participation from the community. Previously, we had situations where we would go in a particular community and say, okay, we're going to put up a school here, and without really consulting the community or involving the community. So at the end of it all, the community would complain to say, no, but it's not the school that we wanted, it's water that we wanted, water reticulation, a health facility, things of that nature. So how do we cure that sort of problem or challenge? So this is where we said, okay, fine, we are going to come up with a community trust where we are going to have representation from almost all sectors. So the civic leaders, the community leaders, different will be involved in making decisions for particular in particular communities. And then after that, we are going to support that particular project. So there is an allocation of 20 million United States dollars, which is about 600 million kwacha. Which is quite huge, and that will be an annual allocation for these different activities. So in as far as CSR is concerned, this time round we want to have more of impactful and measurable CSR. Okay, previously there's a lot that we did, yes, but maybe we were not too visible for people to appreciate the many things that we were doing. So this time round, the direction will be a bit different. But of course, we are not going to depart from those 4 thematic areas of health, education, sustainable livelihood, and sports development. Already, we are doing that because, for instance, in areas like Nampundwe, some time back, we got involved in upgrading of a school, putting up laboratory labs in those particular schools. And quite recently, we have done quite a lot of CSR. We have done, we have supported community initiatives, football tournaments in that particular area. We have done donations in as far as sanitary pads are concerned. We've also done that for Chingola, where we at one time had the Vedanta Cup, and a lot of other lifestyle programs that we embarked on. We also did some programs in supporting the farmers in Chingola and Chililabombwe, where we got involved with certain cooperatives. We supported them. We gave them farming inputs and things of that nature. So we've been all over. The residue mosquito program to eradicate malaria and things like that is just one of the other programs that we got into. Not only that, we've also supported the creative arts industry, where there's a particular group in Chingola, in Chiwempala, for instance, very good creative minds there. They do a lot of camera work, issues of cinematography and things like that. We have supported those groups. And of course, as we go on, we want to look at the national character and try and support a lot of other activities.
Okay. Now, as we touch on the CSR aspect, you supported Awanachi magazine, towards purchasing of reusable pads and panties for girls in Chikankata, and were able to impact 1,000+ girls through your support and other partners as well. And then also this year, you have indicated a commitment to support us, because this year we decided to target the Copper Belt, in Chingola in particular, to reach out to 5,000 girls. Now, we would just like to understand your thinking. Why do you think this partnership with Awanachi is important for you as Vedanta?
Well, I think for us it's the issues of the values. I think the values of Vedanta and the values of Awanachi in this case have resonated quite well in that I think you've been doing activities where activities that we also support. I think anything to do with a girl child, we have always come in quite strong, as a way of supporting the girl child, as a way of supporting, especially on the issue of promoting education especially. I think we have had situations where because of lack of the sanitary pads, for instance, and all that, we have seen a situation where girls don't go to school because of this. They get disturbed along the way and all that. And so this has been on us to say, what is it that we can do for the girl child? And so really, with Awanachi having come on board, especially last year, and coming on board this year, we have said, no, I think let's see how we can work with this particular organization. We did that last year in Chikankata, and I think that function went on very well, and I should commend you as Awanachi for that, for a job well done. Thank you. We just hope that we can do much more this year with you as an organization, if I may put it that way. I know Awanachi is a magazine and all that. But in this case, as an organization, so there's much more that we can do. And as Vedanta, we'll definitely support you. CSR issues are part of our DNA as Vedanta. And so supporting of the girl child and just making sure the girl child is in school, that we really do our best to support those activities. So as we have this conversation, there's an activity that is actually taking place on the Copper Belt to do with the sanitary pads distribution to certain schools. And obviously later on in the year, we are then going to again do that distribution, this time round with Awanachi. So this to us is a continuous thing that we do. Every quarter, some activity has to take place. Yeah,
and we appreciate your support and your partnership on making a difference in the girls, or in the life of a girl child, particularly in rural Zambia. Now, as we have a conversation around the Women's Month, Masuzyo, do you feel as a country the full potential of women is being acknowledged in Zambia? Not necessarily just in the mining industry, but as a country as a whole. Do you think the potential, the voice of women is getting to a place where we can say, indeed, we are making progress as a country?
Yes, I should say that we are really making progress in that area. I think we have seen what you, the women, are capable of doing. Women, I think, have now been in, especially in organizations, we have seen them being part of the C-suite or the dominant coalition. They are there in as far as decision making for organizations is concerned. We have seen women get involved even at a political level. We have had vice presidents now, women, and they've played a big role. And we see women continue playing different roles, be it at the highest office, be it at the lowest, but they're there to, provide that leadership. In communities, when you go, I think women doing all sorts of good work, I should say. So steadily, I think we're getting there. As a country, I should think that in the next few years we should see a woman president, maybe for the Republic of Zambia, because we are already headed in that direction. So women are doing extremely well. I think they have this rare talent. I think women, to some extent, are even better than us men in certain areas, in as far as leadership is concerned and things like that. Yeah. So we are getting there. We're getting there.
It's actually interesting to hear perspective from a man, and you see, that's why we're saying let's have a man come and speak into the issue of Women's Day, because I strongly believe that the narrative of changing. The direction of changing the narrative of women in Zambia should not just be by the women. We still need men. We still need each other at the end of the day. It is how can we work together to make a difference in that regard. Now, coming down to Vedanta once again, Masuzyo, as an organization, how do you promote women's participation in driving development and positive change?
Okay, what we have done as Vedanta is that we have included or embraced diversity. We have embraced inclusiveness, gender equality in the things that we do. We have set a target of 2030 where we want 50% women. 50% women, of course, in Vedanta, and that is something that we are working on, and that's just one of our goals.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think the conversations need to continue. The deliberate strategies need to continue. So as we are getting to the end of our conversation, Masuzyo, what encouragement do you have for women out there, even as we celebrate Women's Month? What is your word to women, be it in the business world, be it in the corporate space? What do they have to do to continue rising from where they were yesterday?
Well, I think women should continue with what they're already doing. I think that resilience, that focus in as far as the things that they want to achieve should continue. I think we have seen more of women now get what's the word? I'm looking for the appropriate word, because women are all over. You go in these universities, you find women upgrading themselves, upskilling themselves and things like that, positioning themselves and repackaging themselves for them to take up, prominent roles in society. Right. So my encouragement really is that the women should continue. They should continue with that resilience and that focus in as far as their work is concerned, whatever they want to achieve in whatever field. I think that is very important. I think it's important in this case to complement, just as you put it. I think men and women in this case complement each other. I think where there are shortcomings or inadequacies coming from men, women will be there to fill up the gap. And I think time is ripe now for women to take up all those roles, and would definitely support the women. I've worked in organizations before where we've had leadership from the women, where you have a woman boss and, making all those tough and difficult decisions. And so this is something where we should continue with that. The women should continue with that sort of energy to take things from one degree of strength to the other. And that's a kind of encouragement maybe I would give to the women out there. Okay.
And then probably your final word to women in this special Women's Month from Vedanta.
Oh, great. All I would say is that women should definitely enjoy this month. It's a special month for them, dedicated especially for the women, not only here in Zambia, but throughout the world. Women should be celebrated. You are special in many spheres, special even in families where you play roles of a mother and things like that. So my appeal to the ladies out there, or to all the women, please enjoy this month, very important month for you, the women, dedicated, and see areas of growth, personal growth in a lot of areas. I think we have also heard that in certain instances there have been pull him down kind of syndrome, the PhD kind of syndrome where women don't support each other. But of course, this is a period when women should, be more focused and see how they can work together and how they can forge a lot of things together for the sake of the country, for the sake of development of the country. So women are special, and they'll remain special, and this is a special month for them. So please, congratulations to you, all the women, and continue working hard.
Okay. Thank you so much, Masuzyo. Thank you for coming through for this Awanachi Conversations. I think it's been insightful to just get to understand a bit more about Vedanta, what you're doing in the space of women, the support, the CSR activities that you're doing. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mpunga. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Okay, so there you have it. I've been talking to Mr. Masuzyo Ndhlovu. He's the Director Corporate Communications at Vedanta Resources. Yeah, usually tongue twister there. It's actually Vedanta Resources. We have come to the end of this podcast. Please do join us for our next one coming through next week. I've been your host, Mpunga Chipepo Simukwai, wishing you God's blessings and goodbye.